I'm not gonna say that straight away, which is what I usually came across the start. Right, so it's recording. So this is mine. And see, do you know what? Right, so on John's on the watch along me and John did. I called you two different names. He said in the chat I kept calling you Masai and Masai. That's what I was calling you.
No, I don't think you did. I don't. What on your one?
My watch along, yeah. So you didn't do the UFC watch along, or it wasn't mine. It was UFC. No, was it the UFC one? No, yeah, the UFC watch along. It was on the UFC watch along, definitely, because that kid jumped on. That James jumped on. He was on it for the whole like. It was a fucked up fucking watch along, that, mate. Why did I start a Twitter space, mate? They're terrible.
Well, the Leon one, Leon Colby card.
The Leon card, yeah. No. I did a Twitter space, and then it went to a watch along, and then it went to then that watch along stopped because I hadn't I didn't do it on this. Do you know this what we're on now? StreamYard or whatever it's called. I didn't do it on this. I just started it on YouTube, and then this lad was like, "Oh, let me come back on," because he'd been in the space chatting. Yeah. So then I had to close it again, start it again. I did fucking 3 different things and started it again with him. And in that, I was like, "Yeah, it's Masai," and he was going, "I'm sure that's how you'd say Maisie," and I'm like, "Nah, it's definitely Masai." I was getting it wrong.
Yeah, it's do you know what? Some people get it wrong. It's actually Masai.
Masai.
Yeah, but do you know what it is? I think like people that I work with, like they struggle to say it. They're not from London. I feel like they don't say it a lot. They all say Masai, but it's Kenyan. So it's after like this. My parents named after this tribe in Kenya. You know those people that jump up and down. Those like really. They're like the Olympic. They're like they always win like the marathon.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah, they named me after that, and then yeah.
No way.
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Whenever the people try and read my surname out in like the airport and that, and if you was Nigerian, you'd get it easy, and they start like proper struggling on it.
It's just Woogs, though, isn't it?
Woogs is not my surname.
Oh, I thought it was.
Nah, Woogs is my last name. Woogs is just Woogs was created from the surname. The surname's that mad, right? Think about this. I will not. Everyone knows it, but I'm not going to read it out, say it on here. But if my surname's that bad in Nigerian, that Woogs was made out of it, it come out of the surname.
Yeah, I just assumed it was just Woogs and it was just a Nigerian name. That's what I thought it was.
What do you mean?
Like,
Woogs is a Nigerian name?
Yeah, so I just thought that was it. I just thought that was your surname.
It is not. There's no Woogs tribes in Nigeria. I don't think so anyway. It used to be Woogie. It was Woogie, you know. Growing up, no one called me Woogs. No one does call me Woogs. It's never been Woogs. It was Woogie, and everyone called me Woogie growing up. And then it, for some reason, Woogie just went to Woogs, but it was always Woogie with an people in Bolton now. Any of my mates in Bolton, any of them, it'd be mad if anybody came. Like, obviously, like my football mates will just call me Josh. Everyone I go to the game, it calls me Josh and that. Right. If I go to Bolton and I'm out with my mates and they came, there's not a single person in Bolton who won't refer to me as Woogie. They'll call me Woogie and I'll answer to Woogie because that's what it was. That's what it is in Bolton. With my growing up mates, that's what it is. It's Woogie. But I never use it. I hate it. The worst bit was I was desperate for a nickname growing up when I was like in like primary school, and everyone like would have like cool last name nicknames and that. And I was just Josh. Couldn't make a nickname out of my fucking last name at the time. And then I was just desperate for a nickname. And then that came organically and I hated it then by the end of like growing up. Woogie, man. Just Josh, please, everybody.
That's mad because it's like even in like my school, there wasn't that many Nigerians in my school to be like.
No Nigerians around here.
Oh no! Oh yeah, I suppose in Bolton it's even like more. But like,
worse.
But my school was literally 95% black. And,
really?
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's mad. See, that's just completely mad to me. Like, was it even black kids in my class ever growing up ever?
Yeah, I can imagine in Bolton. And I think I finished school like over 10 years ago. But like, yeah, my school was literally. I remember on like the first week that we joined, they said that in our year there was 220 people, and I think off the top of my head, I think there might have been 20 white people max. I think
that is nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
What part of London's that?
Like Selhurst Park, like where Crystal Palace. Like my school is literally a 5-minute walk from Selhurst Park. I'm from that town. Yeah, in Croydon.
No way, that's mad. Like I guess so. I was born in Farnborough, yeah, but then after 2 weeks we just moved to Bolton because my dad's job moved. Farnborough, is it near Kent?
Farnborough, yeah. There is. I think there's Farnborough in Kent, and then there's Farnborough in Bromley, which is around
in Kent, definitely.
Okay, it might be Bromley to be fair, but yeah, that's still only around the corner.
Farnborough Hospital, wherever Farnborough Hospital is.
Oh yeah. Farnborough Hospital is only 20 minutes from where I'm staying.
That's where I was born.
Oh, okay, random.
That'll be on my passport, wouldn't it? That's what's on my passport. Definitely a million billion%
Farnborough. Yeah, Farnborough is Bromley.
Yeah, and then when I was 2 weeks old, because my dad, all my family live in London. All my family are like Arsenal. My cousins are Arsenal. All my cousins are Arsenal fans, or Tottenham fans. All of them. All my family are London.
Right.
We just literally moved here when we were 2 weeks old because my dad's job at the time was doing like an initiative to get people from the south to move to the north because office space was like crazy cheap in the north. And they sold a 1-bedroom flat in London for a 3-bedroom like semi in Bolton with a massive garden and that, and like just never moved or anything.
Right, that's mad.
We just moved down here. I've didn't have any friends down here, no family, no nothing. Just moved from London to Bolton with a 2-week-old and a 4-year-old. Just them two. How mad's that?
That is mad, yeah.
That's why I end up being from Bolton.
That's mental. Whereas like
the most Bolton person ever. Because that's all I've ever known, but I also like the least Bolton person ever because it's mad. Like my mum and dad are not from Bolton, obviously, so they don't have like the deep instilled Bolton in them. But like I did grow up in Bolton, all my friends are from Bolton, so I do have the Bolton in me.
Weird. So your parents are from London?
Dad's from London. Well, yeah, Nigeria, moved to London when he was 13, 15. Yeah. 13 or 15, he moved to London, to Kent with his dad, and then with my mum's Scottish, Falkirk.
Oh, okay.
She moved to London when she became a nurse.
Right.
I think that was like a similar deal. Like you did nursing somewhere, and then there was like a big call for nurses in London. I don't know, and then she moved to London. Right. She's lived in Germany and Lithuania and all kinds of mum, so I'm not quite sure. Like maybe she just moved to London. Like I don't really know how she ended up in London.
Yeah. Oh, that's quite mad to be honest.
I'm guessing. Where's your? You said Kenyan. Who's Kenyan on your side?
Oh, no. I'm not Kenyan. They just like the name of the tribe.
Oh, right, really?
That's what I was saying. So, like, my school, even though it was 95% black,
right,
I would say it was 92, 93%. Everyone's Jamaican, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, or generally Caribbean. So, like,
yeah.
My mom is English, and then my dad, he's like born in like London. He's from London, but his parents are from Jamaica and Trinidad. Yeah. And basically everyone in, especially like Croydon, but like in, so I'm just doing a call. Everyone in like London, South London is like Jamaican basically. So it's just like, and that's what I was saying about the African thing, because there was a few kids like say in our year that were actual like, they're like second generation African. So they're like Ghanaian, Nigerian, but not that many. There's more now, but like back then.
Yeah, that's definitely the case here. When black people started to move into Bolton a little bit more, it would definitely be more Trini, Jamaican, places like that. Do you know what I mean? Definitely, but never really African. And then I feel like in the last,
it's like the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah, 6, 7 years. No, probably about that. You'd start getting a lot more Africans in.
Because I've got mates.
Somali's African, isn't it? Obviously.
Yeah, like I've got mates.
The last 5, 6 years, Somalians came a lot into Bolton.
Do you know what? Most of the Somalis, like in London, they all live in like they've been here for like a while, but they live mainly in like, do you know like Harlesden, so like northwest London, and like West London, like kind of like Shepherd's Bush and like Ealing. They're pretty much all over there. It's weird how it's kind of split up.
I feel like it is weird how there's like black communities with like, so everyone else will just thought it's just black people live here and here. Do you know what I mean? That's not like people who don't look at it as deep, and especially like white people who don't like deep how much different black people are to other black people. They just think there's people in this part of London, there's black people in this part of London. But when you actually look into it, it's like there's communities of certain like different like parts of Africa, different parts of like obviously all over, even like Egyptians and stuff. I know obviously Egypt's in Africa, but do you know what I mean? You even get like Egyptians where they're in one area.
Albanians, for example, I don't know that. I only know a few, but they're mainly like North London, East London, and like Essex. They're not really. I don't really know that many Albanians in South London.
Yeah,
they're mainly like North. Even like Jewish people, they're mainly like in sort of. They're all over, obviously, but they're mainly like North London, East London.
Yeah, that's the same idea. Jewish people around here have got their own like. So you never see Jewish people in Bolton ever, really. And then when I used to be driving from Bolton to like Manchester, and you go through Salford, I don't even know what the area is, but like driving towards the Manchester Arena, there's a proper, like anyone who's watching, I doubt anyone who's watching this from Manchester. If Joe's watching this, who did the Muay Thai guy. If he's watching this, he'll know what I mean. And it's mad. You drive through it, and it's just like as soon as you snap your fingers, it's like you go through one set of traffic lights, and for the next 200, 300 yards, it's just Jewish. There's no else. It's just all kids, all Jewish kids, Jewish adults. Madness. I find like London's that big, whereas Bolton's a big town, and it's known for being a big town, but it's tiny. Like you know, like from London, like London's massive.
Yeah, because I think there is I think I read about that place. There's a place in Manchester, which is like they've got quite a big Jewish community. I'm not
Definitely sure. It would be it.
Come where it is. But yeah, just before we get onto the fact, like so for example, even in the boroughs, so like in Croydon, for example.
So we've got all day to talk about MMA. Who cares about MMA? Let's talk about this. People want to talk about just garbage. They're not interested in MMA.
No, but yeah, for example, in Croydon, for example, the borough is like it's quite mixed. But like, say in the north of Croydon, it's mainly like more Caribbean black people, but then in the middle of like say central Croydon where I live now, it's like kind of like a mixture 50-50, and then South Croydon is a bit more like white, so it is but everywhere, obviously everyone's everywhere, you'll find every kind of person everywhere.
I feel like your upbringing then would have been way more blacker than my upbringing. I must have been genuinely hand on heart, and it doesn't embarrass me to say it because it's just what it was. It was only really internet and growing up and like being like 18 and above and meeting black people and stuff, and going like, instead of just going out in Bolton all the time, venturing out and meeting other people. I must have been obviously about between like all my life until about 16, 17, I must have been serious contender for the whitest black person on planet Earth, mate.
Yeah.
But whiter than any black person to ever live. I live in Bolton, right? Yeah. With Scottish mum. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So obviously my dad, I feel like my dad, he is proper Nigerian, but even he, to an extent, as he's got a bit older, has softened up on it.
Right.
And I think because his dad was because my granddad was like a proper strict man, like a proper strict African guy, and my dad like rebelled away from that. He was always a bit more, definitely a lot more like westernized for his generation, because like for his generation of a black man, he should have probably been a bit more African, if that makes sense. I don't know how to describe it, but
no, I get what you mean. Yeah.
His dad was so like severe. He was like, I'm not going to be like that, and he was a bit more softer with it. So I had a massively white upbringing, man. I had no black mates or anything growing up.
Whereas here, because it's so like, for example, I would do like, even when I went to primary school, I went to a black school, but it was in the same area. So like, but I would play football with my mate on Saturday, and he lives in like South Croydon, sort of / kind of, it goes into Surrey. Like he's a footballer now. He plays for Bromley, but
is Bromley good? Would that be good? Would be on proper money?
They're in the conference, so they were in the playoffs last year. So if they get promoted this year, they'll be in League 2.
Okay.
He was at Palace for most of his career. Like he's only 25 now, but he was at Palace for like. But when I played football with him, when I was like a kid, they would like, all the kids were white kind of thing. But I think especially if you've grown up in sort of London, I don't ever think anything of it like, oh, I'm the only mixed race or black person, or if it's the other way around, like some of my mates who are like white, and then he'll be like the only white one there, and you got like Indian guys and whatever. You're right. When I suppose people like you, or other, even say white people that have lived in like I don't know Liverpool, Manchester, or whatever, they must think, oh wow, this is different kind of thing to be not around.
Quite mad. So it's well less. So like me growing up, as the only black lad with loads of white lads, I would have definitely been acting like them. But I feel like it's definitely less, maybe not noticeable, or it's not socially acceptable, because that's not what I'm trying to say, but definitely less like, I reckon the black person who chills with only white people and acts white, dresses white, is a lot different to when you get the one white kid who only chills with black people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like you say that though, but I kind of think sometimes it's kind of like, if you've got the one.
Come on, when we was growing up, there was always that white kid that was like.
Yeah, but like that thing
was white.
Yeah, but people look at that as kind of cringe. But then when it's around,
sometimes it's not necessarily cringe.
Yeah, but like when it's the other way around, people are like, not. You're like, it's more socially acceptable, but it's like. But sometimes people will be like, oh well, you've got no like, oh you're not black enough or whatever. You know what I mean? I get how that works, kind of thing. So
that is definitely a thing, isn't it? Definitely, if you think about it, that is 100% a thing.
Yeah, but
definitely more. That's another thing as time's gone on, that it's well more just like accepted that. I think thinking that a white person acts black would be like younger, naive in your head. Like kids definitely laughed at it more, but when you're older, you just think if a white lad has grew up in a black area and has only had black mates and has been around black people all the time, every time he goes to someone's house for tea, it's all a black family. If he goes to the barber, it's all black people in there. He's gonna pick up traits of black people because that's just life. You pick up traits from where you are. Do you know what I mean? Where the environment you're in is what you pick up the traits and what you are. That's how you the person who you are because of the environment. If you're constantly in an environment, not putting in an act to being black, you will act more black because you've just ground all blackness all the time.
That is very true, and I think as well, like if you live in such a diverse kind of place, you pick up things that are you just get a bit of everything. Like I didn't even realize, for example, this on the last job I was on, this girl that was on my team, she's an Indian girl. She's from Hackney, like East London. Yeah. And we had to, where we were based, like our studio was in Harlesden, which is like, it's like North. It's actually round the corner from Wembley. It's like 5 minutes from Wembley. It's basically Wembley, yeah. And sometimes we'd have to go into Wembley to like go to some of the shops there. And I always assumed, because I don't really go to North London, I always assumed like Wembley, because I mean, you've probably been there, not more than me, but a lot for like finals and stuff. And
of course, yeah.
So I didn't even realize, but like, I've always assumed Wembley was like a white area, like middle class. It's like a massive Asian community. I had no idea.
No, I feel like maybe I feel like whenever I've been to Wembley, and if we've ever drank around Wembley, or because we used to always get the tram over, like the tram. We used to get the tubes over. Yeah. We used to stay in Kilburn and get the tube over to Wembley, but then like we'd drink around Wembley, you'd go to shop, because instead of like drinking in boozers, usually we would get beer from the little shops around. And I feel like the owners of all the shops were always Asian, but like maybe that's not like the area, but it's definitely, I would definitely have said I knew Wembley was not a white area, but I wouldn't have knew it was an Asian area, but I would have said like black mix, definitely.
No, it's
like I don't really
a massive, like I had no idea, like, and I was like to the girl that I worked with, she's obviously Indian, and she was like, I was like, wow, I had no idea that there was this many like Asian people in North London. She was like, yeah, this is not North London, but like Wembley. She was like, yeah, this is like a proper brown area. Like she's got family that live there, and I had no idea. Like even what's like another?
One of my cousins, Matt, literally lives. Maybe that's why I know, to be honest. One of my cousins, he's a Tottenham fan. He lives probably when Tottenham were playing at Wembley, he used to walk to the ground for the home games.
Yeah.
So maybe and I have been and visited him and that. So maybe I know I do. Maybe I've just know because I've been there, but I feel like I didn't know that. I feel like just whenever you go, so I always remember like 3 different shops from Wembley, depending on which pub you got, and you would go in and raid them for beer, and then like throw your beer over the fences at either the Torch or the Green Man. And I feel like they was definitely always Asian owned.
Yeah.
And when we went for the league, if you there's that long walk as well to Wembley where there's just all Indian takeaways and stuff.
Yeah. That's where I was like around there.
Two of my mates went on the charity. Remember the charity cup, charity shield against City, where we lost. Yeah. Was it City on penalties, or was it Arsenal? No, City on penalties, wasn't it? We lost.
Did we?
Or was it Arsenal on penalties?
What year was this?
When we won the league.
So we won the league in 2020, and then that means it would have been 2020 Community Shield. Oh no, we did play Arsenal. Because they won the FA Cup that year. But I can't remember that game at all.
Sure. Yeah, Liverpool 0-0 with them, and they beat us on penalties.
I have no recollection of that at all.
Yeah, 100%. And our mates went for.
I remember this now.
Indian. They went for an Indian before the game. Definitely.
Yeah. I just looked it up. Yeah, there's so many. There's so much around there. It's actually mad, to be honest.
Charity Shields, man, they're the worst games ever. But then I was actually jealous of the one in Leicester. Felt like I should have gone.
Oh, and Nunes scored.
Yeah, it looked good. Yeah. But I've been so burnt from the Arsenal one. That journey home, losing in something as pointless as a Charity Shield, was a kick in the teeth, and I hate things like that. So that's what put me off the Leicester one.
Yeah, and I don't know. To be honest, we probably won't be in a Community Shield. Well, actually, we're still in the FA Cup. We could win the FA Cup.
I think we could win the league.
Nah, I don't. Nah, I think
the league's that bad. I'm not getting excited because I think, like I said, City can always just win 13, 14 games, boom, win them, just roll them games. Yep. So I'm not getting excited, but I think the standard's that bad, we could win the league.
Yeah, but you also got to think that I would say I think we can, but the reason I don't think we will, like, Salah's gone for a month, Trent's now gone for a month. Like,
I do think as well. Sorry to interrupt, but what you're saying, it's important from what you're saying. I think as well in this league, you can have a bad month and be well out of it.
Mm.
And if we have a bad month because of what you're saying, the injuries and people going to tournaments and stuff, I think you could easily not lose two, but maybe like drop 7 points, by drawing one here, draw one there, lose one. Do you know what I mean? I'll just drop a few points and be miles out and think shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think the league's that bad.
It is, but do you not think? I just have a feeling City are going to do like a mad run kind of thing.
Yeah, probably. That's what I think. That's why I'm not getting too excited.
The only thing that might help us is obviously we want to win the Europa League, but we don't have to. Like, for example, City have to take the Champions League.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah,
and we can be like, okay, who have we got in the Europa League again?
The draw's not been done yet, has it?
No, it don't. It happened a few weeks ago. So we've got. Oh, here it is. So Liverpool have got. Wait, I'm sure.
I don't think the draw's been done,
Did we not get our draw? Hold on.
This guy, man.
No, I'm sure round of 32. Oh, this is going to piss me off. I need to find it out. Europa.
Oh, mate, you might be right. No, I don't think so.
I'm sure we've done our draw. They've done Champions League, and they usually do the Europa a day after, don't they?
I don't think this is right. I think you're wrong, mate. Liverpool fixtures.
Oh,
after this, hang on. Liverpool fixtures. I think you're wrong.
Oh, wow, fair. All right.
This is absolute nonsense. This is why do I listen to somebody like you? What you're talking about, right? Anyway, tell you what, that's a perfect reason to get stuck into UFC because we don't have a clue what to talk about when it comes to football, but we have a clue what to talk about when it comes to MMA. This is called MMA in 2023, but realistically, I'll watch a Bellator card, I'll watch a PFL card. If it's on and it's a good card, I'll watch it. I'll watch the end of the year Bellator PFL one when it's all like 6 millionaires. I watch some cards. I watch it. I don't mind one championship, but listen, I ain't watching all of them, all the dog shit cards all the time. So this is UFC really, but we'll say MMA. But just out of respect for the sport, because I do hate when people talk and they'll refer to MMA as UFC.
Oh, me too.
So we won't, but this is a UFC thing, right? So should we start with the UFC 300 thing?
Yes.
Or should we save that to the end? Because we've got probably a hard out of an hour.
Because they announced some fights, and they like Charles Oliveira.
We'll do the UFC 300 thing, what we want our main card to be, because we can chat about that then. I feel like we can fly through the others if we have to. Whereas this will be nice to chat about.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I'm done.
So we'll go for a UFC 300 main card prediction. So I know they've announced fights, but none of them to me suggest they might have to be on the main card. What's been announced so far? So what would you say that's been announced so far that you would say is going to be on the main card? I don't think any of them are going to be on the main card.
Charles Oliveira against
of course. Shit, yeah, Charles Oliveira. No, but actually, that might not necessarily be on the main card.
Oh, come on.
It's a big fight, but it's not been announced as a 5-rounder, which means I'm not saying that it has to have been a 5-rounder because obviously there's going to be at least 2 title fights on 300. But if the UFC could pull I'll start by saying this is sort of like a loaded thing for me because my thing, what I think for UFC 300, the only way to save this, mate, they're talking about Leon Edwards versus Bilal might have to headline it. Yeah, this is how bad they've got. I know it's not going to, but this is how bad it's got. There's not really much out there. They need to do a full title fight main card. That's what they've got to do.
Nah, you can't do that. No, you can't do that.
Why? It's 300.
Because listen, if you have 5 fights on the main card, yeah, and they're all title fights, which means they can all be 5 rounds. They can all go through the
but they're not going to be all 5 rounds, are they?
Sorry?
You make a couple of extra sloppy ones. So one of mine is, I'll say it now just for the sake of like arguing with you on this. One of mine is Gain versus Aspinall. That is not going 5 rounds. So even though you have to, plus they're only on ESPN Plus, it's a downloadable app. So it's not like you have to they've got TV cutouts or anything. They can do it. Right. Should we go? I say we go our full main card, then we'll discuss it because instead of just me rabbiting on about mine, I'll say my full main card, you say your full main card, and then we'll discuss it. So I'm going to go. I'll tell you what, you can go first. You go first. You give me your card.
Okay, so obviously there needs to be 5 fights, and we're assuming there's going to be at least 2 title fights. That's what I think. Maybe 3, which means let's just say there's 2 title fights and then 3 normal fights that are big fights. And if we look at what's already definitely confirmed, okay, so I've got the list here. This won't be on the main card, but I'm just going to read out the fights that are definitely announced. Bo Nickel against Cody Brundage. Okay, that's not going to be on the main card. Calvin Kattar, Aljamain Sterling.
Not main card.
Probably won't be if we get enough.
That's not on the main card.
Charles Oliveira against Arman Sarukian. Okay, that's definitely on the main card. Yuri Prohaska against Alexander Rakic. That will probably, you'd have to assume that'd be on the main card.
No, you're wrong. This is UFC 300.
Yeah, but go and look at UFC 298 and UFC 299. They're bigger cards.
But there's not. I think for 300, that's why they're not telling you these are on the main card. I think they're going big on this main card. What's your main card? You tell me what your main. So did you do it where you've picked what you think is going to be the better fights?
What, like the main fight?
Yeah, go on. What did you do your UFC 300? Did I even tell you to do this? A main card prediction for UFC?
That's the thing, but I still don't know who's going to. I was convinced it was going to be Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor. Now they're saying June. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's what I'm saying.
That makes sense to me. I think that that's where that's not where you're wrong. It's where I think Conor McGregor being at International Fight Week is perfect, right? UFC 300 is going to sell regardless. It's going to be big regardless, and putting McGregor on it it's counterproductive because one. So hear me out on this one, yeah. Just hear me out on my little. It'll probably turn into not a rant because I'm not angry about it, but you can't put McGregor on 300 because one, McGregor doesn't just get pay-per-view points; he gets crazy pay-per-view points. Yeah. He gets like a set level above everyone. So you're not going to be able to put another title fight on that card now because then the pay-per-view point deals that you've got with your other fighters, because McGregor's obviously going to push it through the roof, they're going to get even more. So you're going to have to pay every title holder sort of like McGregor opponent pay-per-view points plus McGregor's stupid fee for a pay-per-view that's already going to do. This was a thing that was on Twitter months ago when we were talking about this, and someone said McGregor will do 1 million buys when he comes back because he's that big now, and UFC 300 will do 1 million buys. So you'll do something around 1 million from both, a bit over, whatever. And someone said, well, put them together, you'll get 2 million. But that's not how it works because of that 1 million that buy the McGregor fight and of that 1 million that buy UFC 300, probably 700,000 of them are the same people. So then
that's true. That is true. Yeah,
you're not doubling your pay-per-view buys. So you're losing 700,000 that would have bought both. I feel like an International Fight Week. It used to be a big thing. We booked it. We booked to go. Me and Ryan the Ben booked it. I always nearly say his real name. I suppose he's got it now. Me and Ryan the Ben booked it to go last time. Not this July, the July before, the last COVID July, because it was always going to be massive. It was going to be huge. And then we said, right, we'll go this year. No matter what, we're going this year. Finally, COVID's finished everything. Let's go this year. And then it was Volkanovski, and we was like, fuck that. And I feel like this year,
Adesanya Canada.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, this year.
Shit card as well.
They dropped. Last year was Adesanya, wasn't it? Like you said, Canada. This year.
No. That was like 2022 one.
Oh, 2 years ago then. And then last year was Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez.
No. It was Volkanovski Holloway, and then it was O'Malley done the output.
Volkanovski Rodriguez International Fight Week last year.
No, are you talking 2022 or 2023?
2023 last year.
Oh, right.
Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And the year before that was Canalea Thingy, wasn't it?
Yeah, but sorry, I got confused with Volkanovski.
The last 2 years, to me, they've sort of like just gone off the back of it being International Fight Week and put not great cards on. They've not sold well, that's a fact. They've both been underwhelming. So I think putting McGregor on it brings up International Fight Week again, back up to the level where everyone thinks it's amazing with McGregor's name. And then next year, you probably, if you don't fuck it up again, you'll have the buzz of International Fight Week will be back because McGregor brings it back from doing it this year. Does that make sense? I feel like the buzz for International Fight Week last year was like, you're just putting. They're always good cards. They're always really, really deep good cards, but they're not never got a superstar on the top of them like they used to have. And I feel like McGregor. I think the UFC. They make a lot of mistakes, but obviously they do a lot right. And I think putting McGregor on UFC 300 would be a mistake. And I think putting him on Fight Week's perfect because I don't think Fight Week's got that oomph that it used to have, where it does 1 million. It doesn't do anything like 1 million. It'll do maybe 400,000. Whereas I think McGregor is. Plus, you've got to still think as well, is McGregor's star as big as it used to be, where he used to do 1 million all the time? Like people are going to be like a bit like he's been partying all year. I think it'll still be big, but you add two things, you add a fading international fight week with a bit of a not fading because he's still as popular as ever, but a bit of a fading McGregor. You put them together and you get a mega event. And 300 doesn't need McGregor, even though it's going to be probably not. It's going to be an amazing card. It's probably going to be one of the best cards of all time, but not with the massive name. But if you think back, what headlined UFC 200? It was fucking Amanda Nunes versus Michelle.
But that was because
I know, because all the fights,
and then obviously John Jones in DC. So
of course, but you still remember UFC 200 as being a banger, but the headliner wasn't great. So that's what I'm saying with this. Even if for some reason it was to be Leon versus Bilal as the main event, which I wouldn't want, if you've got crazy fights under it, nobody would be asked. I'm going to give you my UFC, not prediction, because it's not a prediction, because I feel like I did say to you prediction, but I should have really said what it would be to be the best. So it's not like a prediction, because I feel like mine's, when I tell you it and I just have it in my head and I think it'll be good, I think you'll agree, but maybe the UFC won't do it. Maybe someone will watch this video from the UFC and make it happen. So I think you have a full main title fight and none of these fights have been booked that can't happen really yet. So I don't know what the main event would be. Probably Volkanovski. So but it would depend. If Topuria won, he wouldn't be the main event. So I've gone Belal versus Edwards, right? Okay. And then I've got a quick turnaround for either Volkanovski or Topuria. You know for a fact Volkanovski would turn around quickly for 300. Yeah. He loves fighting regularly. He would do that. He would love to do that. Yeah. Quick turnaround between Volkanovski and Topuria, depending on how unscathed they get out of that fight. And then, so Topuria versus Max, if he wins.
Okay. Yeah.
Just beat Arnold Allen. He beat Korean Zombies on a bit of a roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Max versus Topuria, or Volkanovski versus the winner of Allen and Evloev.
Yeah.
Just even though it's an easy touch and it's not the best, there's no one else for Volk to fight. So that's my other fight. Yeah. I think that's a decent little do.
That's good. Are you saying Volkanovski co-main event to Leon and Bilal, or are you saying Volk?
I would probably put Volkanovski above Leon and Bilal, but I would probably put Leon and Bilal above Topuria.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Come on.
Okay, but do you think that just gave me an idea? Then do you not think then about quick turnaround? I think.
You think it's Strickland
or Duplessis, and they fight. They put that.
Yeah, same. I didn't want to just put all quick turnarounds because it's easy to say, but I also think Strickland and DDP would both turn. But DDP didn't last time, but I think he's learned his lesson from not doing it with Izzy, and he would. That's why I think the UFC are not stressing as much, because I think they're thinking quick turnarounds will be fine. I also think this isn't in my card, but if you're desperate to get a 5 main card, quick turnaround definitely between the women's. What's the vacant one that's happening soon?
145.
It's 135.
Who is it?
Who is it?
Joanna Silver against Raquel Pennington.
Pennington. That could be a quick turnaround against what's her face? Juliana Pena. I don't think that's not one on mine anyway. So my other title fight is Weili Zhang versus Grosso. Champ for 125.
I don't like that.
The only reason why I like it is because I want to keep Zhang active.
Yeah.
Grosso said she wants to come back sooner than Shevchenko's ready with her injury.
Yeah.
You don't mess about if Zhang loses. You don't mess about with that Zhang versus
Tatiana Suarez.
No, the other Chinese girl in China, the massive
Yan Shannon.
Yeah. So you don't mess about with that, even if she loses. You can still have that for the title in China. And I'm a sucker for a big, massive crowd in China. All the China thing, all the China fans getting behind the China fighters. I'd love that. So that's would be my next one. Then my fourth one, which is I think is easy. I know he said he won't fight, but if you offer him 300, he will. Aspinall versus Gain, defending the interim.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and then my last one. So my last one could be any of the others turning around quicker. But the last one, what I went for, just because I thought if Volkanovski wins and he's fighting Arnold Allen or whoever, you go Gaethje Max for the BMF.
I hate that. I see people talk to me about that. I hate that fight.
I hate that fight. I'm only joking. I hate that fight.
They
keep talking about it. All I can think of, picture in my head, is what Poirier did to Holloway at 155, where he just looked weak, Holloway, and thinking Gaethje will bludgeon him to death.
Yeah, it's a shame, because if he had the size, I think he would be a great lightweight kind of thing.
With that volume and everything that he's got.
He's too small.
And everything, but and even though it's weird because he seems so hard to make 145 because of how tall he is and that, but he's not got the frame, has he, to build out and be a 145. It's sad.
Yeah, some guys just don't have that kind of like.
I think frame's the right term. Like his stature and his frame's not big. It doesn't feel like it's big enough to fill out. I think he's a skinny guy. I think he's a skinny lad. He's got nothing on. Skinny lad. Go on. So have you got a main card, a 5-fight main card to give to me?
Okay, well, I'm definitely not doing 5 title fights, but I would do 3 title fights. So firstly, I would keep Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan on there. Definitely. Main card. Open up the main card. And then I would actually keep. I would do Yuri versus Rakic, the last. Oh, actually, no, sorry, Rakic and Yuri to open up the main card. Yeah.
Right, okay, then.
Yeah, 2 title challenges. Well, I don't know if Rakic ever fought for a belt, but Yuri's former champ. Everyone loves Yuri. Gets the crowd going. Then you go Oliveira, Arman Tsarukyan, #1 contender fight, and then 3rd title fight, women's fight. But I would want to see Grasso and Shevchenko run back because
the only reason why I didn't go for that is because Shevchenko says she doesn't know she'll be ready.
No, but they both got injured that night.
Yeah, no, but Grosso's wasn't. Shevchenko got surgery. Grosso didn't.
I thought Grasso had to get surgery in the end as well.
Oh, did you?
She might have done, because I think at first it was just Shevchenko.
You've been very wrong, very, very wrong multiple times during this.
The thing is that because I remember Shevchenko went on Ariel's show. And then I think Grasso went on a week later.
Yeah, maybe.
And they had like a similar timeline that they would be back at the same time.
So this is a lot more realistic than my 155 champ fight and my BMF title. So that's fine. Shevchenko, Grasso, third in. Who's your co-main?
Okay, so the co-main. Okay, so I'm a bit torn on this because basically we have to wait and see what happens. You're right about Duplessis. He learned his lesson from not taking that Izzy fight. And he must be kicking himself thinking, I could have beaten him that night. Do you know what I mean?
I think Izzy would have lost to anyone that night because I just feel like he was just, if he's not really come out and said he was injured, I feel like he just wasn't on it. And I feel like the reason why he might have not been on it is because he probably didn't take Strickland seriously enough after everything. And he wouldn't have took DDP any more seriously than Strickland.
Do you know what? I think he did take him seriously, but I also think he just fights so regularly. It's kind of what I'm worried about with Volkanovski because he fights constantly. It's not, it catches up with you, I think.
Yeah, no, it does. And they're not young. He's like 36, 37. Volkanovski's like 35, 36. He started later. So even though they've had less wars and that, you'd expect them to get a little bit more out of them, but they're still not young men.
Yeah, and it takes a toll, especially like Volk just got brutally KO'd by Islam.
KO'd, exactly. And then he's coming back, turning around quite quick, and he's fought.
And he had a war with Islam this time last year. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
and then he's gone up in weight twice. Now he's going to come back down again.
Yeah,
exactly. So we never know. So what should be? Go on.
Love to see. So if whoever wins that fight, I would love if they can turn around quick against Hamzat. I think that's perfect. But I just realized. Do you not think? You know, obviously everyone's talking about UFC 300, but a month before.
I don't think Hamzat can fight in America.
Sorry.
That's the problem, innit? Hamzat can't fight in America.
People say that, but do you think that's true?
It's definitely true now. Yeah, he never comes in America. Just never goes in America. He's never at any of the cards. Never rumored to be on any of the American cards. That's why I think they've done the deal with Saudi to throw him on the Saudi card in March as a headliner because they can't just have one date for him.
What is that? Russia.
Because of the Ramzan Kadyrov.
Yeah.
Everyone. It's the same as that Daniel Kinahan. Anyone who was associated with him got sanctioned when he got sanctioned. Yeah, so he definitely can't get in. I know no one's come. I find it weird that no one's asked and no one's confirmed it, and no one's. It just seems like why they must get told they can't. I don't get it because there must be a media member who's interested in it, but he definitely can't get in. I think.
I have heard people ask about that. I've heard
he would have fought, wouldn't he? He would have definitely fought because why would he not be on one of these cards?
But I've heard Dana just say, "Oh, it's nothing." Like, "Oh, do you know what I mean?" So,
one sec, my is it there? One sec. Charger. Swear every time the something goes on with my videos. Hang on. You see what you've not? So obviously the one I did yesterday with John, the laptop died halfway through.
Oh yeah, that's why I had to run into my charger just before.
It just fully died as well, but it kept recording. So it's like a minute and a half where I'm turning my laptop back on, and John's messaging me, and he's just on there on the screen on his own.
Yeah.
Came up then 10% plug in, so we're plugged in now. We're good.
You know what?
Right.
So what's another fight I wanted on this card, but I don't think it will happen because of the injury? Pereira versus Jamal Hill. How perfect would that be?
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that as well. I really want to see that fight because I love Jamal Hill's like boxing friendly. Like he's a proper punch and move type of guy, which is like rare in MMA, where you get the like quite core boxing style, the work and it flows. And I like him, and I think that'd be a good fight. But I think Jamal Hill he did his full Achilles, didn't he?
Yeah, but he said he'd be back. When did he do his Achilles? Was it like last year?
July. They said they were talking July for him.
I thought he'd be back by like May. Oh man, that's
it's early in it for an Achilles. I'd rather see it better. I wouldn't mind seeing Pereira against someone. He's another one who would definitely turn around quick against anyone, really. If you're looking for just to throw title fights on it, he's a kickboxer, mate. He was fighting like monthly.
But who do you think Pereira can even fight at this point at light heavyweight? Because I feel like they're all fighting each other to get.
Johnny Walker versus Ankalaev winner. Maybe they're waiting for that to throw it on.
That's not bad.
If they did a fight main card, mate, it'd be sick. I mean, UFC 301 would be the worst pay-per-view of all time, but it'd be sick.
Oh, this is giving me a headache just trying to sort out. I'm just like,
right, go on. Right, so because we're 40 minutes in and we've got to do all the 23 review, we can fire through them, but this is what me and John did. Me and John spoke about Christmas for half an hour, and we had a hard out of an hour, and we had like 15 minutes at the end to fire through everything, missed most categories. He ended up answering 3 and 1 to get over it. So, what's your main event for UFC 300?
I think, and this is not even what I want, but just based on everything else, I'm going to have to say Leon versus Bilal.
How sad is that, man? Edwards versus Bilal headline.
No, I think it'll be a great fight. It's just...
No, it will be. But how sick is it? But how funny and how, like, I don't know if it's ironic's the word I'm looking for. Is it because of the relationship that Leon had with the UFC? And now he's going to headline the big flagpole, massive event. They hated him. The reason why they got the Usman, why they made him rematch Usman so quick, because they were desperate for Usman to take the belt back off him.
But you know, I don't know if I think that's true. You know,
they loved Usman. They loved Usman.
No, I know. But when Leon won and they saw his star grow, they were like, "Oh my god, we finally got like an English champion." I think they.
But he's not. Unless they come over into a stadium, they're not even going to capitalize on that. And I feel like he's that small in America. That's why I think they rushed him into the mid-4 stage. Even though he didn't want to fight Colby. No one thought Colby deserved it. I know there wasn't really anyone else. I think they either did it because it would make him a bigger star by fighting Colby, or they did it because they thought Colby would win. I feel like they don't really care about Leon being a champion.
I think it was a win-win for them either way, to be honest, because if he wins, it's like he keeps getting bigger and it's good for like UK MMA. And if Colby won, it'd be huge. And also with Colby, you can't really, if he loses, people are happy. So it's like you can't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true.
It was a win-win for them. They couldn't have gone wrong.
That is our. I would have put a thing under that. I'm starting to be like, I'm starting to try this. I'm never going to be I need to keep. Sometimes I need to. This is what I definitely realized yesterday with John's. I need to keep Sometimes I need to keep it in, rein it in. It's usually me. Need to. So we're going to go on because otherwise, what happened in 2023? This is our 2023 and 2024 at the end. So this is like our 2023 recap, like our little roundup of the year. So we'll just take it in turns who goes first. So we're going to start with. Let's start with a bang. Let's start with KO of 2023. What's yours? You go. I'll go first. You want me to go first?
You go first.
Right. So it would have been easy to go Emmett, and you probably should go in it. And it's like revisionist history. It's right on the end of your, like it happened at the end of the year, last card of the year. But I'm going Izzy Pereira.
Oh, okay, yeah, I thought you might.
Because the moment, how big it felt, it was like the crowd, everything. The fact that he'd lost three times to this guy. I know like one was close and the other one was like a last minute thing and it didn't quite think he should have lost them all. And then he sparks him after getting beat up as well. He was getting beat on in that second round. First round, I thought Izzy won it, to be honest. I thought he was all right. Second round, he was getting knocked out and he pulled it out and it was sick. And then the celebration and everything. So Izzy Pereira is my KO. What's your KO of the year?
That was close for me, but I think I'm scoring it. I know that was a huge moment, but in terms of actual like technique and stakes, for me, number one was Justin Gaethje against Dustin Poirier. I was like, oh my god! Like, and I think.
With yours, a little bit. Sorry to interrupt again, but with yours, it was a surprise, which adds to it. Like you could probably have foreseen Gaethje maybe stopping Poirier late. But did anybody see head kick?
No.
What?
No.
Yeah. Do you know I can't even argue with yours. And if I think about it, I wouldn't have put it over Pereira because of the stakes. But if I'd have thought, if yours was coming to mind, it'd have definitely been up there.
Yeah, and I was just like, wow. But that was because really, whoever lost that fight was like, well, they're probably never going to fight for a belt ever again. Something. So
where did they go from there?
And obviously, he had already lost the Dustin as well. Like,
yeah, exactly. No, that was big. That was a big one.
That was a good one. All right, next one.
Next, we're going sub of the year. You can go first on this one.
Well, do you know what? This one with submissions, I feel like not that you don't see a lot of great submissions, but sometimes you see a lot of the best submissions like on the prelims of like a Apex card. You'll get like a big skill gap of somebody against a guy that's not on his level.
Yeah, you never see someone getting a twister in a title fight.
Yeah, like obviously you saw like John Jones against Cyril Gane kind of thing, but it was like he had no idea what he was doing. Like, but for me, based on the moment and everything else, I had to go Alexa Grasso against Shevchenko.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah, and she was a massive underdog, and she choked her. It was like, oh my god, do you know what I mean? So,
hand on heart, that was what I was going to go for second. That was my second pick, and it annoys me because you've just said my first pick.
Oh, Jones Gane, yeah.
Not because of the sub, because it was a very easy sub. Like you said, game was just terrible. Like I don't like. I feel like it was a disgrace. Like had he not wrestled at all? And then he puts all these Instagram videos up after the fight of him, like doing wrestling training. I think, mate, the time has gone, mate. You just got strangled in a round by John Jones.
It was so, and not that I didn't want John Jones to win or whatever. It was just so climactic. I was just like, I've waited like 3 years for him to come back, and 2 minutes.
I would rather have won that than it start looking like he wasn't going to win and getting worried for him. I'd rather he win like that. It was nice. We haven't got any answers on John Jones. It was like he just dragged. He literally, the takedown was just him dragging him to the floor.
Yeah, Gane. I think Gane like tried to hit him and he just moved out the way and he grabbed him. I was just like, oh man.
But I think because it was John Jones, heavyweight, solidifies himself as the greatest of all time. 3 years out, and he did it in the first round against a genuine heavyweight contender. It wasn't. He's not a bum game. Do you know what I mean? It's not like
5 rounds in Gane. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's mine. But I would have. But I do like the Grosso one. I think the Grosso ones are good.
Yeah. For me, that was just. I genuinely was on my feet. I was like, wow.
Yeah, of course. And if you'd have said Grosso was going to win, you would have said she would have won on the feet. You would have said that it was Shevchenko who had the like upper-handed in grappling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the rematch.
I'm looking forward to it. Right, so we're going to go for, this is me, back to me, performance of 2023.
Do you mean like one fight, or do you mean like...
Just one fight, yeah. What was the best performance? So mine, I went O'Malley Aljo.
Oh, that's a great pick.
Just because, like, I expected Aljo to ragdoll him, really. And I think it was perfect by O'Malley. Like, was it in the second round? It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was first round. No, you're right. Second. It was second.
It was second round, wasn't it? I think it was. Yeah. Was it? Yeah, it was second round, wasn't it?
First round, nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing happened. And that's what I feel like was why it was so perfect, because he didn't allow anything to happen to him in the first round. He felt it out, got the range, and then sniped him. Perfect. If you could think about it, this is why I think we couldn't put it really in knockout or anything like that. I think it goes in performance, because if I had a thought in my head how he was going to win that fight, I feel like it was that, which means Aljo probably thought it was going to be that, and he still fell into the trap and got sniped, and it was just sick. And then the fact that he came out to superstar, and then when he wins that, I always think the narrative on how big of a star O'Malley was a bit false gold. Like he was famous, but he wasn't like super duper. He was more influencer famous with the Jake Paul crowd, not pay-per-view famous or that. He was more merchandise famous to kids. I felt like this is when the two worlds collide, when he became MMA famous and superstar influencer famous at the same time. And that, like, I just think the whole performance, everything that it made a star, and I think it was unbelievable.
It wasn't, yeah. I thought, and I was quite confident he was, but I put like 50 quid on him to win, and I won like 150. I was gassed, yeah. But even though I love Aljo, but I just thought, I just had a feeling like, because he had the quick turnaround.
Short turnaround from the pseudo fight. I love how that at the time, so the fight gets made, and UFC are pressuring Aljo to do it, and Dana White's like, guess who rang me straight away saying, if Aljo doesn't want the fight, I'll take the fight. Cejudo rang me straight away. And Cejudo pulls out injured, banged up because he couldn't get fit through the quick turnaround that Aljo had to turn around from.
Sure.
So what's yours? One performance of 23?
I've got so many. It's so hard to like narrow down, because I'm kind of thinking, does it have to be a title? Obviously, I know it doesn't have to be a title fight, because there are performances where I'm like, wow, that was incredible. Like one that stands out to me. So I'll give you two. So the non-title fight, I'm going to say Arman Sarukian against Beneil Dariush.
Yeah, big win.
Kneed him and then knocked him out, and I was just like, that was incredible. And then for I'll give you a title fight one as well. I'm gonna say Tom Aspinall against Pavlovich, because I was watching it like.
It felt like every time Pavlovich hit him, he was hurting him. It was like,
oh my day! And then when he just sort of was fine, and then I just couldn't believe. I genuinely couldn't believe what I was watching. But there was so many other good performances as well, where I was like, over from different fighters, and I was just like, wow, that was brilliant. Because you could say, even like Leon against Usman at 02 was incredible. There was a lot of other good performances as well, but I just think even
Fiziev versus Gaethje on the London card was sick as well.
Yeah, and a lot of people thought Gaethje was going to lose that fight. So
yeah,
there was a lot of good
performance for him to go 1-1. Looked like he was getting a bit outclassed. Was it first round? It looked like he was getting outclassed. It was, wasn't it? And then he took it. Then he just take over, and then the sort of like experience and the conditioning just like took over, and he was just landing at will. Sure, he got pieced up a little bit in the first round, Gaethje.
I just realised I'm going to change my thing with Aspinall. Sorry, Sean Strickland against Adesanya.
Yeah,
like, I can't believe. Yeah, that was the best performance. Yeah, by far. 5 rounds. He beat him for 5 rounds. Like, it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't like a knock.
It was weird that because the first round, you remember, he knocked him down, and you thought, oh, is he going to do him? And then I think after Izzy survived that, you keep thinking, Izzy's going to style him. Even if he loses the first 2, he'll pick it up and win the first 3. And then it gets to 3 rounds, and you're like, well, maybe he's going to. I could probably stop him anyway. And then 4, and then you get to the 5th, and you think, like, the 5th round was weird because usually with them fights, you're always a bit unsure. Like, it's an upset's a bit close. But the 5th round, you just spent 5 minutes thinking, oh my God, he's fucking done this.
Done it, yeah. Like, I was thinking,
he's been on 5 rounds, yeah. Like, it's impossible for him not to have done this.
Do you know what was mad? Before we move on, I went I had got to IB for that week. I'd only been there for like a night. So I went out on the Friday night, and then on the Saturday in the day, you've been to IB before, haven't
you? Yeah, fucking loads of times.
Yeah, I've only been once. So I went in the daytime, we went to Ushuaia. So it was like a day event. So by the time we got home, it was like, I don't know.
Yeah, because Ushuaia finishes early, doesn't it? You get back home like
11. I didn't realize it was just day events. I thought they did.
It's a day event, and then you go somewhere else.
But we got back to our like villa at like 12, and I was like, UFC's on in like 5 hours. I'm not going to stay up to watch it. I just went to sleep, and then I woke up at like literally the main event was starting, and I watched the whole fight on my phone. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. It was mad. It was really good.
We'll move on because we've probably got about 10 minutes left, so let's see what we can get through. So on this one, we'll just say it, won't even get into it, and then we'll talk about the next one. So I know it's like you say it's a big category, but there's loads of good fights anyway. So what was your fight of 23?
For me, a very obvious choice. I'm going to go Dan Hooker against Jalen Turner. That for me, that was the best fight I saw this year. So good, just back and forth. Both I think Hooker broke his arm, Turner broke something in his leg or something like that. It was just a great fight.
It could have gone either way as well. So that's a good fight. I didn't think of it, but it's a good fight. But I always like to go 5 rounds, so I went Moreno, Pantoja 3.
Ah, that was a good fight. Yeah, that was a
sick fight, like on the feet, close, back and forth, and a title fight. So that's what
Islam Volk was the first one. That was incredible. Islam Volk was incredible.
Yeah, that was incredible. I feel like sometimes when fights are a bit earlier in the year, you sort of can forget.
Yeah.
So we'll go. So this one's your big one. So your fighter of the year 2023. I feel like this is just the easiest one.
For me,
Sean Strickland. I went Sean Strickland as well. How can you not look at this time last year? Sean Strickland had he lost back-to-back fights?
Yeah, he lost to Pereira, then Cannonier.
So he'd lost back-to-back fights, and then I remember when the fight got announced with him to events. Who was it against? Magomedov or something, or whoever it was.
It was at Nasruddin Imavov, and then he fought Magomedov.
Headlining the Apex, and people was like, "This is going to be shit." Like no one was interested really, and now look at him. And he's not just won the belt; he's a superstar. He's a genuinely big name in MMA now. Maybe his pay-per-view points. I don't know how big his pay-per-view fighters will be against DDP, but he is a genuine like social media and like superstar now. So yeah, we're going right. So we're going to go best moment of 2023.
Best moment in terms of like.
I was going to. So the next one's best. So this was best moment, and the next one's best story. So you can we'll just sort of like collide these things together. What would you say is the best story or best moment of 2023?
Best moment was definitely for me. I thought when like Pantoja's post-fight speech, when he did that was just brilliant.
Are you proud of me, Dad?
Yeah, that was great. That was really
sick, man. Yeah, that was good. It was like heavy stuff on the heart when he's saying it because he's saying it into the camera and he's like his face and that.
Like looking into the camera.
Yeah. My biggest one was again. It was what I said before. Izzy versus Pereira, just because of just like Izzy's moment as well. Like I've never liked Izzy, always been against him. But for that fight, for some reason, I really wanted him to win. That's the first time I've ever supported Izzy ever in a fight ever. I've always wanted him to lose every fight before that. And except maybe not the first one with Pereira at MSG, I kind of wasn't sure. But then I like Pereira. I like Pereira more than Izzy. But weirdly wanted Izzy to win that fight. I just feel like I just wanted it for him. And then the moment where he's like, I want all of you to just experience this happiness. Because I think he will, I promise you now, and he's going to live one of the sickest lives. And I always remember the Snapchat, the Instagram story he put on his thing where he was jumping off a private jet for International Fight Week. And he said, and he just turned the camera on me and goes, how is this my life? So he's got one of the sickest lives and he can't believe it himself, but he'll never, ever top how that must have felt when the ref pulled him off Pereira. Think about it, mate. This is like your bogey, man. This is like someone you've had to deal with all your professional career. He would never fight him again. That was my thing, of the year. So that wraps up 2023.
Done.
We'll go on that, and we'll go on to our little few categories for 2024. We'll don't have to rush through them because we've got it's just JJ's napping. So whenever he wakes up, and I reckon I've got an hour because he had a good solid hour on the way to swimming. So we can go through these. We don't have to rush, and then if we finish them, we'll have a little chat at the end. So fight that you're most looking forward to that has already been made.
That's already been made.
Yeah.
I think do you know what? Probably it's between O'Malley and Cheeto or Strickland DDP. It's kind of equal, to be honest, for different reasons.
O'Malley Cheeto, that's mine.
Yeah. Who do you think wins that fight?
So
I'm in two minds. I can't decide.
I think O'Malley got Cheeto. Cheeto got O'Malley at like a time when he wasn't as good as he is. And I think if you've watched like the what's he called now? The really sound one who beat Cheeto, and he's like a hippie guy. Oh, what's his name?
Corey Sandhagen.
Yeah, Corey Sandhagen. If you watch that win, the blueprint's there with Cheeto, just like volume and all that. You can't overwhelm him because he goes like even I feel like I watched that Munoz fight and just forgot that Cheeto is like the cardio king. And then it comes to the third round and he takes over and dominates, and you think, oh yeah, it's Cheeto. Now he can easily do that because I do question O'Malley's gas tank. He gassed in the Yan fight.
You think so?
I thought he gassed towards the end of the Yan fight. Yeah, I thought he was tired.
I thought it was just a great back and forth.
No, it was a great fight, but I do think he got tired. I think Yan got tired too.
But I think,
in my opinion, I just think O'Malley can get tired, and I think Cheeto doesn't get tired. But I also think O'Malley can style on Cheeto. And the first win was a bit weird.
Yeah, but do you know what? I don't think the first fight comes into it now. I just think they both improved a lot. And if you look, like O'Malley hasn't lost since, but some people think he lost to Yan. I personally think it was close, but
I think it was close. And I probably want O'Malley to win enough to say that I probably think O'Malley won it. I
mean, I bet on O'Malley, so I wanted him to. I won like 300 quid. I thought watching it, Yan's won, but it was so close. It could have gone either way. But if you look at since those two, when they fought each other nearly 4 years ago. Okay, so O'Malley hasn't lost since, but he's had weird fights like the Pedro Munoz one. But Cheeto he's lost twice. He lost to Jose Aldo a few months after that fight, which was close, but Aldo just it's like his experience. He kind of just there's like a veteran sort of win.
I think Aldo was just better than Cheeto and too experienced to fall for Cheeto's traps of just like gassing you out, and I think he experienced him. Even though Cheeto's experienced, I think they were probably a similar level at that weight and that. But Aldo had the experience where he wasn't going to fall into any of the traps.
And then the other fight that he lost, which was just the weirdest fight ever. He didn't do anything. Like he didn't. It was so unlike him.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Sometimes you think he might be injured or something. I agree, and I think it's going to be a great fight. I just think. Weirdly, I think Cheeto's the style that O'Malley can look good against, but also probably his kryptonite, really. Obviously, other than like a dominant, strong wrestler. But then again, you look at Aldo, dominant, strong wrestlers are not really great on the feet, so he's like that much ahead of him on the feet that he can knock them out like that. I feel like Cheeto, who's quite a decent grappler, decent on the feet, decent jiu-jitsu, stamina for days. I feel like that he could be all wrong for O'Malley.
Yeah, he could. I think as well, the UFC must be thinking, oh, they must be praying that Cejudo beats Merab. I don't think he will. But
O'Malley is a big fight.
But no, it's not even that. It is, but they don't want Merab to be champion. They definitely don't.
He's not a big name. He doesn't sell anything. He's not funny. He's not even like part of the like Dagestani where they just like smash everything, and it's like this almost like that stoic that you're sort of like he's not even like that. He's like somewhere in between being that and funny and that.
Yeah. So
obviously, O'Malley Cheeto is a big fight, and that's why we both put it in our thingies. So we'll go for a fight that we want to see that hasn't been made.
That hasn't been made.
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You go first. You go first.
You went first last time, so I've gone for Hamzat versus Strickland.
Yeah, that would be good.
See that in like maybe it'd be hard to send Strickland over there, but it would be good to see that in like Abu Dhabi, the yearly Abu Dhabi fight.
I think he would go if you paid him enough.
I think he would go over there. I mean, it'd be hard to fucking put Strickland in Abu Dhabi and the UFC not come out looking terrible in front of fucking Saudi princes. In front of princes. That's what I mean, mate. I think they need like respectful fighters of that, don't they?
Yeah, it's a shame. Do you know what? Now that you actually said it, it's actually so annoying about Hamzat not being allowed. But the thing is, though, just to go back to that, obviously, Ramzan, he's always been associated with him, and obviously the Raw.
Yeah, he only got sanctioned like 12 months ago in the US.
But didn't he go when like Hamzat was meant to fight Nate and then he fought Kevin Holland? Was he not sanctioned then?
I don't think so, because that would have been
September 2023.
No, it wasn't.
Sorry, September 2022. My bad.
I think he got sanctioned at the start of 23. Same with like Daniel Kinahan, or maybe Kinahan was a bit earlier than that.
That's annoying because, that's so jarring. So are you saying he's sanctioned because Kadyrov is involved with Russia in the war?
He's not been so Hamzat Chimaev has not been sanctioned himself. Obviously, it's Ramzan Kadyrov who's been sanctioned. So so if you've got strong links to him, you can't get in. Same. That's why Tyson Fury cannot get in America now because of the Daniel Kinahan links. He's not actually in any trouble whatsoever. They're just not letting people in who. Because it's one of them. And like, what's the likelihood that at some point Kinahan and Ramzan Kadyrov have 100% money laundered money through these two with dodgy sponsorship deals or management deals or something? Do you know what I mean? It's 100% likely that they have profited somewhere off them. So I think I don't really know, but I'm guessing that's what it is. Yeah. What's your fight that's not been made? What's yours?
Well, I guess we kind of know it's happening, but it's not. Something in that triangle of like Jones,
Aspinall
and Stipe, but that's a bit weird, so I might not mention that. So I would love to see probably maybe like Ian Gary against Shavkat or something.
Something lower down like that where it's so sick, Yeah, I would love to see Ian Gary. He said it on Ariel's show yesterday, and I can't get my head out of it. I would love to see Ian Gary versus Colby.
Yeah, you're in an island.
That's a sick fight.
I'm going to do that in Ireland as well.
Do it anywhere. Even on 300. Gary said he would love that on 300.
But Gary's fighting Jeff Neal is it in February?
But he said he would turn down for 300 for Colby, and that'd be a big fight for Colby as well.
No, that's not. You know what? Jeff Neal's not an easy fight, by the way.
No, I think he could lose to Jeff Neal.
Be good. But Ian Gary's like a bit of a clown. He is really good.
No, he's really good. Listen, I know he's really good. I know, and his stand-up's unbelievable. But I think Neal's good. I think he probably will beat Neal, and he probably would have beat Luque. But I think it's a real fight. So we've got two more categories. So we're going to go. Who do you reckon is going to have you stand out 2024?
So a new guy coming up, kind of thing, in a way.
Or it can be someone who's up but who like takes over. I've got mine. Do you want me to choose on mine?
You go yours first, because
I've got Merab. So even though we just said that the UFC wants Cejudo, I think he's going to beat Cejudo, and then he's going to be undeniable and will have to have a title shot. And I think he beats O'Malley, and I think he ends this. And then I think he's the sort of person who I think he'll fight 3 times. I think he'll do Cejudo or O'Malley, and then he'll be on like a co-main on one of the end cards. And I think he'll get 3 wins and finish the year with the title.
Do you know what? It's hard to argue that because he is so good. Well, yeah, he's just his style is just so hard for people to sort of deal with. Like, I watched this. Do you know the journalist James Lynch?
James Lynch.
He goes to a lot of he covers like UFC. He goes to like all the events and stuff.
No,
if you saw him, you might recognize him. But he's got like a YouTube channel, and he's like a Canadian guy, and he has like he'll interview fighters like every day, and he'll do this thing where he'll ask loads of fighters about a certain fight, and it was like, say Cejudo against Merab, and it's just like the tally. Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, Merab's gonna like ragdoll him, but then people are like, well, Cejudo is still really good at wrestling and stuff.
Yeah, he is.
I can't. That fight is just like you said.
Cejudo must be kicking himself for taking so much time away in his prime.
Yeah, I was having this conversation with someone the other day. Yeah, like Yeah, because that would have been perfect for him to just
perfect years to, even if he'd have lost, he could have got himself back up to a title fight again, and it was a division. People were taking the belts off each other all the time. Aljo took Jan took it off someone.
Yeah, like when Cejudo retired, he beat.
He took it off. He fought Aldo for it, didn't he? And then he beat Aldo or whatever it was. And then he could have been in that. He could have been in the all the Aldo fights, the TJ fight. Like there was plenty of big fights to him, and he just blew it. And then I think he's come back skint, and now he's desperate, and that's why he's taking the Merab fight.
He definitely could have won like one more.
Two of them.
He could have beaten.
One got fought for another title.
Yeah, I think he fumbled the bag on that one because he really could have, like, I don't know. So I don't really know. But yeah, for me, for my breakout guy or whatever, I'm gonna say Manel Cap. He's fighting this weekend.
Yes, I like him as well. You are a bunch of. I'm not gonna say it. When he goes, you are. When he said, he goes, you are, and he said it.
Oh. Yeah. Because you know, I didn't when he first joined UFC because he was like champion in Rising, I think. I didn't.
Was he not in the? I made that up. Was he not in the Ultimate Fighter show where they were all?
No, I think he's a bit young. He's only like 20 something. So I could be wrong, but
maybe because Kyra France was in that, wasn't he?
Kyra France, Pantoja, Moreno.
Moreno. The story of Moreno when Cejudo when he goes fuck.
Yeah.
Being with Figueroa,
but I think Manel, he's fighting this weekend as well. So I think if he wins, he can be fine. I think he'll be champion by the end of the year because flyweight is a bit like he could beat.
You need to win 2 and you get a title fight at flyweight.
Yeah, like if he beats who's he fighting this weekend? He's fighting Mateusz Nicolau.
Yeah.
If he beats him, I think they're either going to give him a title shot straight away, or he'll have to fight maybe like the winner of Moreno and Albazi.
I think because they said Albazi's definitely fighting Pantoja. So I think you're right because I think you can go Cape wins. Then you do the natural Kai Kara France one. And if he beats Kai Kara France, title fight at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I
think you're right. I think he could definitely easily fight for one.
I think Manel Cap's going to have a great year.
I think so too. I agree.
He was terrible. His first two fights, he lost like a decision.
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember the first one. I remember the second.
Yeah, he was like, oh my God, I don't know. It was just, but yeah, he's improved a lot. He's really good.
The last category, I don't know if we'll be able to have. Yeah, we should have time if we'll fire through the girls one. Yeah, we'll fire through it mainly and just see what we say. So we'll go who will end the champion in every weight class. So we'll go women's strawweight. Strawweight is one. Yeah, so I'm gonna go Weili Zhang will finish it.
Ooh, I'm gonna say Tatiana Suarez.
Tatiana Suarez is a good choice. Yeah, actually, probably if I thought about it, Tatiana Suarez. But this is the only one that I haven't done any.
No, I mean, to be honest, if Zhang did it, I wouldn't be surprised she's that good.
I'm just searching the thingies now. I don't even know what the division is. Right, yeah. So we've got strawweight first, and then it's flyweight. What are you going to say for flyweight?
Flyweight.
It's a weird one, that, isn't it? I'm going Erin Blackfield.
Oh my God, Erin Blackfield. Do you know what though? I'm gonna sneak one in. I'm gonna say. Oh God, it depends. Do I think Valentina is gonna beat?
I think Valentina's going to beat Grosso, but it's who's going to beat Valentina after that. Or does anybody beat Valentina after that? Maybe she only fights. It's hard because you never know. Maybe Valentina beats Grosso, then only fights once and wins, and you just never know, do you?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do it for this. Okay. Do I think Valentina will beat Grosso? I'm going to say I think she does, but then that's a 50-50 fight. I'm just going to say Grosso wins that fight. So let Valentina wins that fight. And then I'm going to say well, if Erin Blanchfield fights Valentina, I think Blanchfield will be the champion. But if Grasso beats Valentina, I think
Grasso will beat Blanchfield.
Yeah, and I think then Macy Barber might come up and be the champion. Yeah, so I'm gonna say Erin Blanchfield for now, but it could be any one of those.
Right, we'll go men's flyweight.
Are we not doing bantamweight for women?
Oh, yeah, shit, obviously, yeah. Fucking hell, ignore me. Jesus Christ, yeah. Bantamweight for women, I'm going to go Pena just because I like her.
Same. Do you know,
I like her.
But saying that, though,
it's a bad division in it, let's be honest. But I'm just going to go Pena. I reckon Pena will win.
I think she can win it, especially now that Nunes is gone.
And them two are going to fight early, so she'll probably get the fight middle of the year. That means you only have to fight one more time after that to defend it and keep it. Even though you're not the best, you can get an easy. With the UFC, it can work on when there's a scheduled slot and when they need somebody, and you being available and that, like fitting in and getting an easy title defense and staying. So I'll go both. So we're both just. I would say we're just both going Pena because we're fanboys.
Yeah, I love Pena. I think she's great.
Let's go flyweight. So we'll quickly go from flyweight, and then we'll stop on bantamweight, maybe off heavyweight. So flyweight, I'm going to go Moreno just out of loyalty for Moreno. You're going Cap, aren't you?
I'm going to go Menal Cap. I think it could be Moreno, but I'm going to take Cap because Emir Albazi is a fight.
Moreno Cap would be a great fight.
Oh, I would love to see that, but I don't think it's going to happen, sadly.
Right, and then we'll go bantamweight. This is an hard one. You could see O'Malley keeping it. I think it's more likely that O'Malley isn't it, though, than is. I can't see how he beats Cheeto, then would have to beat Merab or Cejudo, which I could see him beat Cejudo, but Merab, and then he would have to probably defend it maybe, and he'd probably get away with 2 defenses because he's big. But if he had to do 3, I just can't see him defending it 3 times.
But I think he could easily defend it twice because I think
Merab kills him.
Oh, I see what you mean. Right. I think it'll be closer than people think, but if I had to bet money on it, I'm going to say Merab is champ by the end of the year.
I'm saying Merab as well. Right, we'll go featherweight. This is an hard one. Featherweight. I'm going to say, just because I always believe when he goes up and whatever happens, he just comes down and still just kills them all. And I still think he's a good 12 months ahead of everyone else. I still think Volkanovski will be a champion at the end of the year. Mainly because as well, if he beats Topuria, there's no challenges. So the fights will probably all be like a bit subpar just to get him challenges. Does that make sense? Just to get him fights. So I'm going to go Volkanovski.
I am going to say... This is a difficult one. I could see a world where Topuria beats Volk, Holloway then beats Topuria, and then Holloway loses it to someone like Evloev or something.
Yeah.
Alan, not Alan, but like he already beat Alan.
Win it again though.
I'm gonna say Evloev because he's fighting early against Alan. But that's if he beats Alan. I want Alan to win, but yeah.
Right, we'll fly through lightweight because there's a lot going on, but I want to get like more. I think we'll have more time in the last 3. So we'll fly through lightweight and we'll fly through welterweight. So lightweight, I'm going to say Makhachev. I can't see anyone taking it off him.
It's Islam, unless Arman could beat him, but I'm going to say Islam.
I think Islam. And then welterweight.
I think Arman's the only guy that can beat him as well.
Welterweight, I'm going to go, what's his name? Shavkat Ramanov. I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, I'm going to say Leon Edwards.
Do you think so?
Yes, I do.
Do you think he beats Shavkat?
Can he beat Shavkat?
Do you think he will? I think
he will. If they fought now, yeah, I think Leon beats him definitely. But
then we can stop on these 3 because these are the big ones. So middleweight, because it's an hour 15 now, and I can just the only reason why I'm rushing on these is because I can picture hearing JJ crying in a minute. So I still keep hearing little movements upstairs where I can tell he's moving in bed. I can picture him crying, and then I'm gonna have to go. So. And I don't want to even leave one left. Obviously, if I hear him whinge, I can leave him for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Strickland, so middleweight, it's not easily. I could even just how the fights fall. I could easily see Whitaker being champion. I could easily see Paulo Costa beating Whitaker and fighting for it and be champion. I could see Chimaev being champion. I could see Strickland just somehow hanging on to it. I could see DDP. I think this is the most open division. Even though light heavyweight's open in terms of everyone beats everyone, I think this is the most open division where who the fuck is going to keep hold of this title.
I'm going to say Israel Adesanya.
Even Adesanya could come back at the end of the year, cash in his money in the bank, depending on who's champion at the end of the year, and fucking wipe him out. I just wouldn't necessarily put money on Strickland to beat Adesanya in a rematch. I think he still would beat DDP. I think he would beat Whitaker, Costa if they had to. I think he would probably beat Chimaev as well. I think Adesanya's a good shout, but I also think Chimaev's a good shout because I think he's guaranteed to get a title shot later on in the year. That's what they're pushing him for.
So neck and neck.
Pardon?
So neck and neck with all of them.
Yeah, that's a hard one. So I'm just going to stick my neck out and say Chimaev just because I love him and I think he's definitely going to get a title fight at the Abu Dhabi card, which is always a bit later in the year, and that could just tie him over. So just by sort of like semantics, I'm going to go Chimaev. Who are you going?
I'm going to say... Oh, no, yeah, I'll say Adesanya.
Right. Light heavyweight. I'm going to say Pereira keeps it all year.
Ooh.
Because I think once he beats I think he will either turn around quite quick and fight at 300, or he'll wait for just did his Achilles. Jamal. He'll wait for Jamal, and if he beats Jamal, which is a good fight, I think after that it's a bit of an easy run for him in terms of how their styles are.
What about Ankalaev?
Just drags him down and burrows him on the floor.
Ankalaev. Even if Rakic beats Yuri.
Yeah, that's good as well because he's a good wrestler. I'm going to go Pereira though. Still, I like him.
I'm going to say Yuri Prochazka.
Yuri Prochazka, okay. Yuri Prochazka.
Yeah.
I think I even think Prochazka could win the title without even having to rematch Pereira. That's how weird the division is.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I think he could beat Pereira. Like,
I think it's a shootout. I think if them two fight each other 10 times, it could finish 5-5.
Yeah. I'm going to say Yuri because I think he'll beat Rakic. I think it's a bit early for him. He'll beat Rakic. He'll either get a title shot or he'll beat. I think out of all of the contenders, he's got the best style to beat Ankalaev.
Yeah.
So I could see him beating Ankalaev and then becoming champion, whether that's beating Pereira or fighting for the belt. I think it'll be Yuri.
I like that. Well, I'm going to go out. So I was going Pereira, you're going Prochazka.
Yeah.
And finally, I can't believe we've actually managed to get through all the categories and everything here. Even if JJ cries now, we're going to finish it.
Yeah.
Heavyweight, just because I don't think they're going to give the fight. I think it's going to turn all the way over to New York. I think it'll be Stipe, John Jones in New York again. I think that's how long it'll take for John Jones to come back. He's hard to make fights. He's awkward. He doesn't really. I think he likes dragging it out. I think them two are going to fight again in November, and then he's not going to turn around before November. They're not going to strip him because they're determined and they've dug the heels in on this fight. So I think it's going to be Stipe Jones in New York. He wins, and John Jones retains the heavyweight title by the end of the year.
I agree. Yeah, Jones will be.
Unless the only spanner in the works could be he beats Stipe, and and the UFC hate what he does. He retires on the mic, and then he just goes straight away. That December card, boom, heavyweight, last minute heavyweight title fight. Sort of the same way they did with the light heavyweight one last year, and you get like a heavyweight. But I don't think so. I think John Jones is more likely to keep up because he loves being the champion. He loves the limelight. He loves the party. He loves partying as a UFC champion. He's a partyhead, and I think he would like Christmas and New Year. I think he would just say, no, I'm not retired. He'd like to have Christmas and New Year as the heavyweight champion of the UFC. His last Christmas and New Year as champion. And then probably sometime in January, February, he goes, you know what? I'm all right.
Yeah, I can see that happening, definitely.
Are you saying John Jones or are you going to go Aspinall?
I'm going to say Jones because I don't think Aspinall's going to fight.
Who's going to get a shot, yeah.
Unless...
Go on.
I don't know. Do you think... Okay, so you think it will definitely be November, Jones fights Stipe?
Even if it's August, I don't think Jones fights again next year. I think he likes to drag it out too.
I see what you mean. You think he'll want... But saying that, though, in John Jones's defense, actually, still, you're right. He fought in February, and then he fought again in November, which was 9 months. But do you not think he was going to fight... Do you not think he would have fought, like... Now that I think back to it, I don't get why... Do you think they only done Stipe Jones in New York because Jones wanted to do it in New York? Do you not think... They could have easily done that fight in August.
Well, they tried to do it International Fight Week and they couldn't get it done. Jones was being too hard work, remember?
Yeah, that was it, yeah.
They tried to get it done, but that's why. So we were going to, like I said, we were saying this year we was going no matter what, me and Round the Bend. And then it was Jones, Stipe, and was like, right, we're going, finally we're going. And then it ended up being Volkanovski and was like, fuck that.
To be honest, that card was sick, though.
Oh, no, it was sick. Listen, it was sick, but sometimes when you go to Vegas, you want that fucking, I want to go and watch that big fight. I want to go and watch the Jones fight. I want to see John Jones fight.
Like Jones, like McGregor, obviously, Jones and like Adesanya. There's not really anyone where you're like, oh my god, like.
No, there's not anymore. But I think that's the whole point. I think the UFC learned from McGregor. When McGregor started saying like, I want percentage of the company, I think they learned not to have mega stars anymore and have everyone on a flat. The UFC's the megastar and Dana White's the megastar, and you are all our fighters. I think that's like by design.
But do you not also think as well, you can't make a megastar? McGregor was kind of just like, he's a 1 in a million. You can't even make somebody like, even like O'Malley or Bo Nickel, you can't make a star. Like, you're either a star or you're not. And then you can push him, but you can't make a McGregor kind of thing. It's weird. Or these kind of guys. I don't think there'll be another star for like a long
time. No, I don't think so either. It has to be
organic.
Organic, yeah, you can't push it. Right, that's been an hour 20. It's been good, but I'm going to wrap it up here.
Before we go, so next week, obviously, is the pay-per-view. So we'll do one next week.
Was this the week of pay-per-view?
Next weekend.
Next week, yes. Next week we'll do another one and we'll go through the pay-per-view on it, and then we'll do the number cards all the time. Or if there's a big fight night.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
So we'll work out a day for next week's.
Yeah. Cool. I'm free all week because I'm still not working. So yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. Perfect. Right. I'm going to shoot it off now. Live chat this Sunday. This has been the year that was in 2023, and looking to next year. Goodbye, all.
Great.